Well, we have a long history of doing a lot of different things, but what I think I've done in the last 7 years is try to focus on how we can bridge the gap between the homeschool and the world of school and documents and certificates. And what I like to think is that we're constantly improving the methods of how we can take the rich educational environment of a homeschooler and turn it into a document and a certificate that can be understood anywhere that the student wants to take that document, whether it's to a university, a college, another school, an employer. And what I spend a lot of time doing is trying to create forms and perfect forms so that the homeschooler isn't spending a majority of time tracking the education and the learning, rather delivering that and then reporting it to us so that we can create those documents. But we also have another aspect of our program, which is the educational advice and the experience that we can share. We've spent a lot of time perfecting our advising process and how to be minimally invasive for the families and the students, yet share with them all of the good news that we have from other families, methods and ideas that they may not have thought of themselves. Everybody gets stuck once in a while trying to figure out a subject or a process or a personality, and we have 44 years of experience working with all sorts of different people. And what I'm really trying to do with Clonlara, what Clonlara is trying to do, is turn all of that knowledge into help and into information that can be readily shared.
Okay. How did the Clonlara evolve from the beginning? How was it, or what made it evolve?
Well, I think it was the students themselves and the parents. As you know, Clonlara was started as a campus school, but it was started by my mother, and my brother and I were the first students. So in essence, we were taught by our mother, homeschooled by our mother. It just wasn't in our home. It was a mile away from home at the school. It was small, and we grew and grew, as some families do. And it was only a few years later, it was 12 years after the campus school got going, that a parent wanted the same experience from the campus school, but they were moving to a new location where they weren't going to be able to attend. And so that's when my mother put together a process for this mother so that she could extend the kind of education, the kind of individualized learning, individual approach for the student in that home. And it grew from there. Then the home-based program, that it turned out that was what a lot of families wanted. In the beginning, the families that wanted to homeschool were very much pioneers, and they had their own ideas in their head. They were committed to the idea even before they started the process. The growth now, especially in the United States, where homeschooling has become so acceptable, it's not 100% recognized. There are still people who don't like the idea, but for the most part, it's very much a live and let live situation. And what's happening now is those pioneers have sort of settled into the process, and others now find it an attractive process, but they don't know exactly what to do or how to do it, and they want more support. Clonlara in the beginning basically waited to hear from the family. When the educational process was complete at the end of the year or during the year, we would hear from the family. We would, get a report from the family. But what we have now is people who are asking at the beginning, help me set it up. I don't know, it sounds good, I want to do it, but I don't know how. And so we've developed our program to be more proactive, to give options and and hopefully show enough different different methods that they can find one that works for them.
Great. Who enrolls in the Clonlara program, and what kind of families are they?
Oh, that's a hard one. We have every kind of family. If we want to be very general, I can say we have unschoolers, we have people who have very, very free methods of learning. We have what I call the school at homers, and they use a curriculum that's a set and established perhaps by another program. And then there's a lot of middle of the road people. There's some who see their children's curiosities and see their children's interests, but bolster that with some very structured learning. We also have people who come to Clonlara because of illnesses. So the students would be in school, but for a physical illness, they can't attend, and the other schools they won't honor the learning that happens outside of the school, if in a hospital or at home, and so they can come to our program and get that learning accredited and documented. We have athletes in our program. We have chess champions, people students who concentrate so much on their own interests already that they don't have time for school. We have very close to us in Michigan, we have a dance studio, and the woman at this dance studio trains the kids to dance on Broadway and to dance in very high level, Juilliard level, and she encourages all her students to homeschool because she can give them the best training during the day when otherwise they would be in school. So she enrolls her students in our program. We serve so many different kinds. I think we have surfers in Hawaii and skiers from Australia. So we just about anybody.
Okay. What are the more common difficulties that you find as a school? What's the difficult part in all that?
Oh, it really depends on where you are. Often the difficulties are the legal situation. Even in the United States, we still have the state of New York that requires homeschoolers to report 5 times a year. They have quarterly reports during the school year, and then they have an end of the year report, and in some student years they require standardized tests of all the children who are homeschooled. Frankly, I don't know why these people don't just move out of the state because it seems so difficult there. And in Spain, in Germany especially, in France, where the laws are perhaps unclear or perhaps seem to be written against homeschoolers, that seems to be a big opposition for people to face. I think the second biggest problem is student motivation. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but there are just times for all of us when we really don't want to do what we might have to do. And when Clonlara comes especially to these new people who were not dedicated from the beginning, they have a different mindset about school. And it's sometimes hard to bring the kids to the freedom and teach them that the way they want to learn something is acceptable. But we do it.
Okay, where is Clonlara right now, and where is it going? I mean, what are the plans for the future, if any?
I do have plans for the future, and what I would really like to see, I think my big dream right now is to actually create a curriculum that teaches people to be free, so that those who are in a school-minded method can use our curriculum, which doesn't exist right now, and it will teach them how to enrich their learning, how to get past that school mindset. Because what we do right now is tell them that that's acceptable, and we guide them through the process, but often that guiding through the process can be a year or more of consultation with advisors. And I would like to design something, to write something that starts with a structure but teaches you to learn freely.
Okay, and last, how is it going in Spain, and why Spain and not the UK or Ireland or a place like that?
Well, the first question, how is it going? It's going really well. As you know, we're celebrating 10 years. We'll have a party any minute now. And I'm very proud of the work that people have put into the Spanish office and the efforts that the Spanish office has made to enhance the program and get it connected to the United States so that we can be successful bringing our documents and getting them approved in Spain as well. Why in Spain? It was really just a chance situation that that families in Spain contacted Pat Montgomery in the United States over 10 years ago, 12, 13 years ago, seeking her help, seeking that support through a school. A school that's already approved when there wasn't any such program in Spain. And it grew and it strengthened, and here we are 10 years later, successful. I would love to see us in the UK as well, and in Ireland. We do have a program in Germany that's strong. There are almost 100 students in the German-speaking program, but as your listeners may know, it can be very, very legally difficult to homeschool in Germany, so our challenges there are different. It's where people need us. I'd like to make a name there too. I'll keep trying.
Okay, Chandra, thank you very much for your time, and we hope to be in your 10th anniversary party soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure.